Hey everybody, Erica Sturwin here from Pink Buckaroo Designs, and this is day one of our Santa's Workshop Craft Along series. This time around, we are using the Festive Friends bundle and the Ornamental Christmas bundle. If you've never joined me for a craft along before, it is several days in a row of video tutorials. This time we're doing all Christmas, and it'll be 6 days, so Monday through Saturday. Me and 5 other friends got together, created 12 projects total, and we will be bringing them to you. Now, we had some problems with supplies. A lot of things were sold out. So some of us are doing it next week. Some of us are doing the following week. So it just depends on who you're following. Depends on when you'll see it. So luckily I ordered early enough that I got most of the supplies I needed. So if you ordered the kit from me, it was mailed last week and hopefully you have it. If you did not buy the kit from me, I do have extra kits this time. So email me about that and I can get you a kit. In your kit, you're going to find a package like this. We're going to open this up in a minute and start cutting our paper, and a super cute little bag that has your supplies. This time we're going to use the deer dots, the gold ribbon, which was really a problem because it sold out till February. So some of you may actually be getting the basic beige ribbon in its place, this new awesome chevron ribbon, and some sequins. Okay, my kits included the gold shaker star sequins. There's also a cute little Santa pin in your bag and some candy. You can eat some of it, but you'll also want to save some of it for one of our projects this week. All right, so let's look. Oh, also let me tell you about the PDF. The PDF has all 12 projects. It has the supply list and the measurements, as well as step-by-step instructions. This is free to anyone who bought the kit. It's also free to anyone who shops with me this week between, let me make sure I tell you the right dates, November 17th through November 23rd. If you spend $50 with me at StampinUp.com, you're going to get this PDF as well as this month's, let me pull it out, this month's All-Star PDF. I always have an All-Star PDF that anybody who shops with me during the month gets if they spend over $50. So this week you'll get this PDF and this PDF. If you aren't going to shop this week, but you want the PDF, it is available in my PDF store for $25. So you can check that out. There's a link at the bottom of today's blog post. I think it says something like, click here if you just want to purchase the PDF. So if you want the kit, you can email me. If you want just the PDF, you can get it free by putting in an online order. Order anything you want, as long as it's over $50 before tax and shipping and after Stampin' Rewards are subtracted. Or you can just buy the PDF for $25 in my PDF store. Okay, I think that is all the instructions that you need. So let's get started. The first project we are going to make, the first 2 projects we're going to make are these 2. We're going to make a card and a really cool slider box that has a window in it. You can see like that. All right. Now, I'm going to follow the directions along with you. I made these weeks ago, and so if you're like me, I have no memory of making them. So it's like I'm making them for the first time all over again. But that's the whole point of a craft along. We're going to do it step by step together, okay? All right, if you got the kit, you need to pull out your supplies. Here's your die cut bag. And I believe the only die cut we need this time is this little soft sea foam everyday arches, and set that bag aside for tomorrow. All right, let's look at our first project. I'm going to pull all the supplies out for all the projects, or for both the projects, and we'll cut them at the same time, but then I will create them one at a time. All right, basic black cardstock. So let's pull out our basic black cardstock. We need 8.5 by 5.5. Scored at 4 1/4. All right, so grab your trimmer and we're going to cut this in half basically and then score it in half. Now park your dart when you're going to score and just use the light gray scoring tool. All right, now we need the Modern Garden Designer Series paper. And I'm gonna follow the instructions. You can play around with the paper if you wanna change it up, but I'm gonna try to keep it the same, just to, you know, kind of keep things as they are in the PDF. All right, Modern Christmas, 5.5, whoops, 5.5 by 4 1/4. Nope, 5.5, no, I'm sorry. 5 and, yeah, we're gonna cover the whole. You know what, did I cut this at 5.5? I bet I cut it 5 1/4. I did, okay, well, the PDF says, I've already messed up. The PDF says 5.5 by 4 1/4 because you're gonna cover the card front, but I accidentally cut it too small, so mine's just gonna have a little border around the edge. Okay, you know, that happens. Oh well, it happens. All right, now we need a little piece of this right here. We send you guys extra paper so that when you make a mistake, because you will, you'll have extra. Okay, this one needs to be 4 by 1/2. And look, I've messed this one up too. I did 4 by 1. Let's just keep it 4 by 1. How about that? We need white for stamping. So I'm going to cut this piece of white in half so that it's less cumbersome. Okay. And then garden green cardstock, we've got a lot of greens this time. It's the Kelly green, if you will. We need this one to be 4 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to cut it on the long side. 4 by 3/4. So just a scrap, really. 4 by 3 1/4. Okay. Okay, so we've got all the pieces we need for the card. Now let's look at the box. Okay, here's our box. We're gonna need thick basic white. And if you got my kit, I separated the thick. It's kind of in the middle of your stack. 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. Okay, so 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. Now I'm going to use my Simply Scored to score this in a minute. So I'm going to set that aside. Garden green cardstock, we need 3 1/4 by 9. So bring back that piece that we just cut. And we're going to do 3 1/4. Let's cut the long side first. 9 and then 3 1/4. Okay, and we're going to score that also on my Simply Scored. All right, I'm going to cut another piece of garden green for the bottom of the box, which I didn't put in my sample. I left it white, so you can leave it white if you want. But I'm going to do 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. That's going to go on the inside bottom part of our box. All right, and then we need a piece of the DSP, the Christmas Tags and More DSP, and I am looking for this piece right here. And we're going to do 3 by 3. There we go. Okay, basic white cardstock piece for die cutting. We've already got that. And then a window sheet. Now your window sheet, you're going to have to look very carefully. If you got the kit, it's behind the gold piece. It's clear. And you need to cut a piece that is 3 by 3. Okay. Window sheets are so fun to use in projects. I love using them. All right, I think we are good to go. Now, your scrap pile might look like this, and if it does, just set it aside, and we'll clean it up later. I don't know, we might need it. I might have forgotten something, who knows? Okay, let's start with our box, okay? I'm gonna bring over my Simply Scored. I'm gonna get that thick piece of basic white, and I'm gonna score it at 1 inch on all 4 sides. Okay, so 1, and you can do this on your Simply, trimmer, your Stampin' Trimmer, but I like to use my Simply Scored, so I'm going to use that. All right, now we're going to score this piece at 3 1/4, 4 1/4, 7 1/2, and 8 1/2. All right. Now I'm gonna take this box. Let's see. Do I want to follow the directions or do I just want to go with it? I think I'm just gonna go with it. All right, we're gonna take our bone folder and we're gonna burnish these lines. Like that. I am then gonna cut off the corners. All right, I'm gonna cut corner to corner on the score line. So from one score line to the next. Then I'm gonna cut up like this and then turn it to the opposite side and do the same thing. Okay. I'm going to use Stampin' Seal Plus today, and I'm going to put adhesive on my 4 corners like that. There we go. I'm going to take that little green square, and you can leave that out. I think I'm going to leave it out. I like it white. We're going to leave that out, okay? Now, get this piece right here, and we're going to burnish these lines. Now, this is going to adhere like this, okay? But before we adhere, we need to cut out our little ornament shape. So, get your DSP and adhere it right here. This is, so you have the smaller section, and then the mid section, and then the larger section. So you want to adhere it right there. Grab your cut and emboss machine. And I'm going to get my ornament die from the Ornamental Christmas. And my slider box is going to slide like this. It doesn't really matter. I guess you could do up and down. But I'm going to have mine go side to side. So I want my ornament to be facing this direction. Okay. Run that through. Here we go. Save that. Now, while we're here, get your white piece that you set aside for stamping. And we're going to get this little guy, this little die right here. And we're going to cut out the tag. Okay. There we go. Let's put these back where they go. All right, so now we're gonna take this piece, we're gonna put adhesive right here on that end, and then you're gonna fold it over and fold this over so that you've got your little tunnel, okay? Oops, you know what I should have done before I did that? Well, that's okay. I'm gonna take some Stampin' Seal Plus and put it right in the corners of my window sheet. And I'm going to glue that behind there, okay, like that. Now I've got my little box and the ornament. And I'm going to put that down in the box like that. And then this is going to slide in here, and you can fill this with M&Ms, with, I don't know, anything you want. Oh, we forgot to cut out our tree as well. So let's bring this back. And we're going to use the skinny tree. All right, there's our skinny tree. And we need to stamp our sentiment. This is the only stamping we're doing for this project. We wish you a Merry Christmas. And you could stamp that right in the middle of your tag. Dimensionals. I'm going to put dimensionals on the back. And that's going to go right there. But wait a minute. Let's put some adhesive on here and adhere that right there. And then we'll sandwich that right there, okay? Now grab that ribbon, my favorite ribbon, the Garden Green Chevron ribbon. And I'm going to put some adhesive on here and adhere that right there. And then we'll sandwich that right there, okay? Now grab that ribbon, my favorite ribbon, the Garden Green Chevron ribbon. And I'm going to put some adhesive on here and adhere that right there. Okay, now grab that ribbon, my favorite ribbon, the Garden Green Chevron ribbon. snip, snip. And a little mini glue dot. Let's see if I can find a mini glue dot on my roll. And we'll put that right there. All right, now how about these deer dots? I love these. We've got some red deer dots up here under the flap. You think there's no red, but they're just hidden. And I'm gonna put a couple of dots like that. And there we go. All right, there's our first project. And now we're ready to make our second project of the day. All right, our next project is a card, and we're actually gonna do some coloring of our cute little Santa. So get your Santa, and you're gonna need Real Red, Basic Black, and the supply list says Ivory for his skin, but I pulled out Petal Pink because I feel like it's a little pinker for our Santa. So any skin tone, whatever skin tone you wanna make your Santa is totally up to you. All right, stamp your Santa, Memento Black. And it looks like my ink pad needs to be re-inked. What do you guys think? Let's try it again and see if we can get a little bit of a better image. I'm trying to save room over here for the tag. It's a little bit better. Okay, well, we're just gonna go with it because I'm not gonna stop right now to re-ink my pad. All right, let's start with Real Red. I'm gonna do Real Red Light. Now we're gonna color his hat in light, okay? Now we're not done with this, so I'm not gonna put my lid back on. I'm just gonna leave it open. I'm gonna take my dark Real Red and flick some ink here on the left side where there's probably a shadow. And then just add a little bit of a shadow up here along the base. And then you can just kind of blend that in. If you flip over to your brush tip, you can kind of blend it. I feel like the brush tip is really better for blending. Okay, down here, we're gonna do his arm. Okay. I switched back over to the bullet tip because I feel like I have better control of my coloring when I use the bullet tip end of my marker. The brush tip I feel like is great for blending and for flicking and for coloring large spaces. But for this guy, we're trying really hard not to get any red on his beard. Now I'm going to take my dark and I'm going to take the bullet tip in and add some shading there in his armpit and then under his beard. Okay, and again there on his armpit. And then I'm going to take my light and just pull that color down towards the bottom and kind of brush it out. All right, I think we're done with the red. Now grab your Basic Black, and Basic Black, I always say this marker, this is our darkest marker. So be careful when you use it because it's just really, really dark. That is the light. Let's see what the dark black, I like the dark black, it looks good. But I'm always afraid I don't want to lose any detail in the image, which I don't think we're going to lose here. There's not really any detail. So I think it's safe to use your dark. Okay. Now I'm going to use light Petal Pink first for his face. And again, guys, use whatever colors you like for skin tone. Get his ears. And then you can take a little bit of a dark color and add in some little rosy cheeks like that. Now, if you have Wink of Stella, grab your Wink of Stella, and I love to add in some glimmer here for Santa. Christmas calls for glitter, I think. Okay, there we go. All right, let's die cut. We also need to die cut the tag, so we'll do that. Here is our Santa baby, Santa tag. He does look like a little baby Santa, doesn't he? and then the tag. Carefully put your plate back on top. Run that through. And let's move this out of the way. Now grab some scrap paper. I'm gonna pull out some grid paper. And on our tag, we're gonna use both garden green and shaded spruce. And we're gonna use the skinny tree here, this tree, which I think I forgot to pull out, I did. And we're gonna also use this tree right here. So since I have that one on a block, let's start with that one. We're gonna do this one in garden green. Okay. And then I will, let's see, do I have my cleaner? I do. Let's go ahead and clean it. Okay. Then switch it out for this one. And we're gonna stamp this one a couple of times. Let's have it go up a little bit higher, like that. It's a little crooked, but yeah, it's all right. We're gonna cover it up with our Santa, so we won't be able to see it. It's crookedness. All right, sentiment, we're gonna use Be Jolly and Real Red. Oh, no, not Real Red. Let's clean that off. I think we need to do garden green. Okay, garden green. And right kind of on the right side. Then we're just gonna layer all of these up. Oh, let's not forget our two strips of paper that we have. You wanna cut them at an angle on the ends. Okay, and then we're gonna layer them up. There's one, and there's another, and then we'll pull out our dimensionals. Okay, oh, you can't hardly even see that tree back there. You know what I'm gonna do? Let's stamp our tree. This one, let's stamp it higher like this. Well, I don't know. So the lesson is stamp your trees higher. You're not going to really even be able to see it. Oh, well. Okay. Well, hopefully you can learn from mine and just adjust yours. Stick that right in there. And you know what I'm just realizing? I put the strips behind the tag the first time. Okay, well, either way, you guys are seeing me. This is like crafting on the fly. And yes, I make a lot of mistakes. So don't feel bad if you do make mistakes. All right, there's our DSP. And I'm gonna layer some dimensionals. Let's see, I kind of want that. I'm just ripping this card apart, you guys. I just keep pulling things off. I think I want this to be a little bit higher so you can see that green. All right, there we go. Make sure that you're not sticking out on the edge. Now, the sample in the PDF has the tag down here, which I probably should do since I have torn that paper a little bit. But I think what I'll do instead is add some dots there. Because I like the tag, I like the ribbon up at the top of the tag. So that's where I'm gonna put it, right there. Now, we'll use our deer dots. If I can find them. Have I lost them already? Yeah, it's only the second day. Here they are. Okay. And I'm going to use some of these garden green, and we'll just put some of those. Look, I can just cover that up right there, and we'll distract the eye right here. And then we'll add a few up here. Whoops. There we go. Couple down here. And there you go. Now, you know what I forgot to do? I put a piece of white on the inside. So if you want to do that, cut a piece of basic white 4 by 5 1/4. I stamp that tree in there and put it right on the inside. Okay, that is it for today. I hope you guys liked today's projects. Remember, if you want the PDF for free, I will send it to everyone who shops with me this week. You can order whatever you want. It doesn't have to be these specific projects, but I will send you both this PDF and my All-Star PDF to everyone who spends $50 with me this week. All right, you guys, join me tomorrow. I'll have 2 more Christmas projects for you. And I'll see you then. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.